Sir, you need to leave this property immediately.
Excuse me? I live here. This is my home.
I got a call that you're trespassing. You match the description of a suspicious person.
Suspicious? I am the homeowner. This is my house.
Homeowner or not, you're leaving. I need to see your ID now.
I'm providing ID, but you are violating my rights in my own home.
You're being uncooperative.
You will lose your career and call.
Officer Brandon Cole had been with the Minneapolis Police Department for 14 years. In those 14 years, he'd accumulated 27 formal complaints. 23 of them involved black men he'd accused of trespassing, loitering, or not belonging at properties in affluent neighborhoods. A black homeowner trimming hedges in his yard was questioned for unauthorized landscaping. A black man checking his mailbox was detained for suspicious activity. A black engineer unlocking his garage was investigated for attempted burglary. A black accountant sitting on his own porch was told he looked out of place. A black teacher watering his lawn was handcuffed for trespassing on private property. A black businessman entering his own home was arrested for breaking and entering. Every complaint ended the same way: property records confirming ownership, internal review that cleared Cole, bias training he attended but dismissed, written warnings that accumulated but meant nothing, union protection that blocked any meaningful discipline. One Sunday afternoon in Minneapolis, his 14-year pattern of assuming black men didn't belong in wealthy neighborhoods finally confronted someone who'd built a successful career as a software engineer, purchased his home through years of hard work in the tech industry, and whose arrest would spark outrage from the technology community and expose a department that had ignored 27 complaints over 14 years. That confrontation would end Cole's career, cost the city $1 million, and expose systemic bias in a city already under scrutiny for police misconduct. Jordan Mitchell, a 39-year-old senior software engineer, was standing in his own front yard in the Kenwood neighborhood, raking leaves on a Sunday afternoon when a police car pulled up and an officer stepped out with aggressive body language. His house keys were in his pocket, his driver's license was inside on the kitchen counter, his name was on the deed in the mailbox. No crime, no trespassing, no violation, just a homeowner doing yard work. But Officer Cole saw him through a lens so warped by racial assumptions that he couldn't process a black man raking leaves at a beautiful home as the legitimate owner, certainly not as a successful tech professional, and definitely not as someone whose arrest would expose Cole's pattern of harassment. Before we continue, where are you watching from? Hit that subscribe button. These stories expose the truth. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kenwood, one of the city's most prestigious neighborhoods with tree-lined streets, historic homes, and proximity to the chain of lakes. Jordan's home was a charming two-story Craftsman he'd purchased 4 years ago for $625,000. It was 3 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon, temperature 58 degrees, beautiful fall weather with leaves changing colors. The neighborhood was quiet, with residents enjoying weekend yard work and family time. Jordan Mitchell had been a software engineer for 15 years, currently a senior engineer at a major tech company in Minneapolis, specializing in cloud infrastructure and security systems. He'd graduated from the University of Minnesota with a degree in computer science, worked his way up from junior developer to senior engineer, and was now earning $165,000 annually. He'd worked for several tech companies, building a reputation for excellence, mentoring junior developers, and contributing to open-source projects that were used globally. He'd purchased his Kenwood home 4 years ago, proud to afford a house in one of Minneapolis's best neighborhoods. He'd renovated parts of it himself on weekends, planted gardens, and become friendly with several neighbors. He loved the quiet streets, the proximity to the lakes for running, and the sense of accomplishment homeownership gave him. That afternoon, Jordan was enjoying a rare free Sunday. He'd spent the morning writing code for a personal project, then decided to do some yard work before the Minnesota winter arrived. He was wearing old jeans, a hoodie, and work gloves, raking leaves into piles in his front yard. He was thinking about maybe grilling dinner later when he heard a car stop and an aggressive voice that immediately put him on edge. Do you think officers should verify property ownership before confronting homeowners? Drop your answer below. Officer Brandon Cole had those 27 complaints over 14 years. 23 involved black men at properties in affluent neighborhoods. A pattern so obvious that multiple supervisors had recommended his termination, that community organizations had protested his continued employment in their neighborhoods, that real estate professionals had complained about him harassing black homeowners and buyers, and that internal affairs had flagged him as a liability, but the police union had successfully blocked every disciplinary action. arguing that Cole was proactive about property crime prevention and that complaints were misunderstandings. His personnel file was thick with complaints describing identical incidents, black men at their own homes being questioned, detained, or arrested. One internal affairs report from 18 months ago specifically stated, Officer Cole demonstrates an inability to recognize that black men can legitimately own homes in affluent areas. His pattern creates liability and damages community trust in neighborhoods we serve. Recommend immediate termination and reassignment is insufficient. The recommendation was blocked by union arbitration. Cole remained on patrol in wealthy neighborhoods because the system protected him. That afternoon, Cole was patrolling Kenwood when he received a call about suspicious activity. A neighbor 2 houses down who'd never met Jordan reported seeing a black man lurking around a property with yard tools. Cole arrived within minutes and saw Jordan raking leaves in casual clothes. "Sir, you need to leave this property, right now." Jordan looked up from his rake, confused and immediately wary. "Leave? This is my house. I own it. I received a call that someone is trespassing here." Jordan looked at his rake, then at his house, then back at Cole. With frustration, he tried to keep under control. "Trespassing? I live here. I'm standing in my own yard, raking leaves. This is my house. Can you prove you own this property?" "I'm Jordan Mitchell. I'm a senior software engineer. I've owned this house for 4 years. My ID is inside. My deed is inside. I'm doing yard work at my own house on a Sunday afternoon. If you can't provide proof of ownership, you need to step off the property." "Step off my own property? Officer, this is my home. I bought it 4 years ago for $625,000. My name is on the deed, on the mortgage, on the mailbox. My neighbors know me. You can verify everything with Hennepin County property records. I need to see identification and proof of ownership right now. My wallet is inside my house. I'm doing yard work. I don't carry my wallet when I'm raking leaves in my own yard. Should software engineers be arrested for doing yard work? Let me know what you think." A neighbor walking his dog stopped on the sidewalk. "Officer, that's Jordan. He lives there. He's owned that house for years. What's going on?" Cole barely acknowledged him. "Sir, keep moving, please." The neighbor, Tom Anderson, didn't move. "I'm not moving. Jordan is my neighbor. We've lived on this street together for 4 years. That's his house. I'm Tom Anderson. I live 3 houses down. We're in the neighborhood association together." Cole turned back to Jordan, his hand moving toward his weapon. "Sir, final warning. Leave this property or you're under arrest." "Under arrest for what? Raking leaves at my own house?" "You're trespassing. On property I own, that I've lived in for 4 years." Cole moved toward him. "Turn around and put your hands behind your back." "This is insane. I'm a software engineer. I own this house." "You're under arrest for trespassing and obstruction." "I haven't obstructed anything. I'm holding a rake." Cole grabbed Jordan's wrist and forced it behind his back. Jordan didn't resist, but spoke clearly. "I am not resisting. I'm complying. I am Jordan Mitchell, senior software engineer. I own this property at 2847 Kenwood Parkway. I purchased it 4 years ago for $625,000. I'm being arrested in my own front yard for doing yard work. Officer Cole is arresting me for being black in Kenwood. I have witnesses, including my neighbor who just vouched for me." The neighbor, Tom, was already on his phone calling other neighbors and 911 to report what he was witnessing. Someone called Jordan's emergency contact. The police are arresting him at his own house for raking leaves. Cole handcuffed Jordan, the metal tight on his wrists that typed code running on servers around the world, that had shaken hands with tech executives at conferences, that had mentored countless junior developers. He walked him toward his patrol car while Jordan continued speaking. "I'm a senior software engineer. I work in cloud infrastructure and security. I own this home. Property records are public in Hennepin County. My neighbors know me. Tom Anderson just tried to tell you I live here. You ignored him. This officer is arresting me for yard work while black." More neighbors were emerging now, several recognizing Jordan immediately and reacting with shock and anger. "That's his house," one shouted. "He's lived there for years," another confirmed. "This is completely wrong," a third yelled. One neighbor ran to get Jordan's wife's phone number from the neighborhood directory. Another was recording everything on their phone, narrating, "This is Jordan Mitchell. He's our neighbor. He owns that house. He's being arrested for raking his own leaves." Cole placed Jordan in the back of his patrol car. Through the window, Jordan could see his rake lying on the ground, piles of leaves he'd been working on scattered across his lawn, his front door standing open, neighbors gathering with concerned and angry faces. He'd spent years building his career, saving money, achieving the American dream of home ownership. Now he was in handcuffs for maintaining the home he'd earned. The drive to the station took 21 minutes through Minneapolis. Jordan spent it thinking about his career, his home, the message this sent about who was allowed to live in certain neighborhoods, the lawsuit he'd have to file. They arrived at Minneapolis PD's 5th Precinct. Cole walked him inside, still handcuffed and in his yard work clothes, past a desk sergeant who looked up with concern. "Cole, what's the situation?" "Trespassing arrest from Kenwood. Subject refused to leave the property." The sergeant frowned. "Trespassing where?" 2847 Kenwood Parkway. He was in the yard with tools, couldn't provide ID. Jordan spoke up, his software engineer's analytical voice cutting through. "Sergeant, I'm Jordan Mitchell, senior software engineer at company name. That's my house. I own it. I purchased it 4 years ago for $625,000. I was raking leaves in my own front yard when Officer Cole arrested me for trespassing on my own property. Hennepin County property records will show Jordan Mitchell as owner since 2020. My neighbors vouched for me. Tom Anderson, who lives 3 houses down, tried to tell Officer Cole I own the house. He ignored him and arrested me anyway. This is my home." The sergeant's expression changed. "You own the house? You were doing yard work?" "For 4 years. I'm a software engineer. I work in tech. I was raking leaves on a Sunday afternoon at my own house when I was arrested." The sergeant looked at Cole with growing anger. "Did you verify property ownership?" He couldn't provide identification. "Because my identification is inside my house where I keep it. I was doing yard work. I don't carry my wallet when I'm raking leaves in my own yard." "Did you check property records? Talk to the neighbors who vouched for him?" He looked suspicious with yard tools at that property. The sergeant pulled up Hennepin County property records immediately. Within seconds, Jordan Mitchell, owner since September 2020, purchase price $625,000. Current assessed value $670,000. The sergeant turned to Cole with fury. "He owns the house. Records confirm it. You arrested a homeowner in his own yard for doing yard work on a Sunday afternoon." Within minutes, a commander arrived. Deputy Chief James Peterson, a 23-year veteran who'd been documenting Cole's pattern and fighting for his removal. He reviewed everything, spoke with neighbors who were calling the station upset, confirmed Jordan's employment and professional background, watched body camera footage showing Jordan raking leaves when approached. He approached Jordan, still handcuffed. "Mr. Mitchell, this arrest was completely unjustified. You're being released immediately with our sincere apologies. This should never have happened." He turned to Cole with controlled rage. "You arrested a homeowner in his own yard for raking leaves. Property records confirm 4 years of ownership. Neighbors vouched for him on your body camera. You had 0 probable cause, badge and weapon. You're suspended pending termination." Cole protested. "Deputy Chief, I was responding to a suspicious person call." "You arrested a man doing yard work at a house he owns. You ignored a neighbor who told you he lives there. You've generated 27 complaints in 14 years, 23 involving black men at properties. Supervisors have tried to terminate you multiple times. You're done. Badge, weapon, now." By that evening, the story was spreading through Minneapolis and the tech community. Jordan's employer issued a statement supporting him. Tech professionals across the country expressed solidarity. Local news covered it extensively. Video from neighbors went viral showing Jordan being arrested while raking leaves. Minneapolis, still dealing with fallout from other high-profile police incidents, faced renewed criticism. Jordan filed a comprehensive lawsuit 7 months later against Officer Brandon Cole, his supervisors who'd ignored 27 complaints, and Minneapolis PD. The allegations: false arrest without probable cause on his own property, false imprisonment, trespassing by Cole on his property, violation of Fourth Amendment rights, racial profiling and discrimination, violation of property rights, intentional infliction of emotional distress, damage to his professional reputation, deliberate indifference to Cole's documented pattern. The complaint included Cole's record. 27 complaints over 14 years, 23 involving black men at properties, supervisor recommendations for termination blocked by union protection. Minneapolis's city attorneys found no viable defense. Property records proved 4 years of ownership. Neighbors testified on video that they told Cole he lived there. Jordan was doing normal yard work. Cole made no attempt to verify ownership despite opportunities. The pattern showed deliberate indifference. The city settled 16 months later, $1 million paid to Jordan Mitchell. Officer Brandon Cole was terminated 8 weeks after the incident. The termination letter stated, Officer Cole arrested Jordan Mitchell, a homeowner, in his own yard for doing yard work. Neighbors vouched for him on body camera. He had no probable cause. His pattern over 14 years demonstrates racial bias. Employment terminated immediately. Cole's name entered the National Decertification Index. Jordan testified before Minneapolis City Council. I'm a software engineer. I've worked in tech for 15 years. I bought my house 4 years ago after years of saving. I was raking leaves in my own yard on a Sunday afternoon when Officer Cole arrested me. My neighbor tried to tell him I lived there. You can hear it on the body camera. He arrested me anyway because he saw a black man and assumed I didn't belong. 27 complaints, 23 involving black men at homes they owned. The system documented it but protected him. I had resources to fight back. How many others didn't? He continued. $1 million is what Minneapolis taxpayers paid, but money doesn't undo being handcuffed in your own yard while doing yard work. It doesn't erase your neighbors seeing you arrested for the crime of being black at the house you own. Minneapolis PD implemented reforms: mandatory property verification before trespassing arrests, automatic investigation at 3 complaints, body camera review for all property encounters, prohibition on arrests without verified complaints from actual property owners. Why do departments wait for 27 complaints instead of 3? Comment your thoughts. This wasn't about one Sunday afternoon. This was about tolerating Brandon Cole for 14 years, despite 27 complaints showing he assumed black men in nice neighborhoods were criminals. Cole's career is over. The city paid $1 million, but that came after 14 years of warnings. Jordan continues working in tech and became an advocate for fair housing and police accountability. He still lives in his Kenwood home and has become a leader in the neighborhood association. Comment if homeowners should have absolute protection from arrest on their own property. And if these stories matter, hit that subscribe button. This isn't about one officer or one engineer. It's about systems that ignore patterns and people who deserve to rake leaves in peace at homes they've earned.